You've got some car trouble and you go to Google to get a mechanic in your area. Well, that's what one local woman did, but she says the businesses that she ended up at took more than $2,000 from her and never did the work. In fact, as our Jackie Calloway explains here tonight, it's not the first time someone has accused this particular repair shop of shortchanging a customer.
Look at that.
Single working mom Dawn Brown says a Port Richey repair shop left her without a vehicle and dependent on bumming rides. Dawn's trouble started in January when her SUV's engine died on Highway 19.
I'm not really familiar with mechanic shops or nothing like that, so of course I Googled the first thing I seen.
That Google search led her to Auto Legends Towing and Repair.
She said that she would get in the shop, they would look at it. So a few days later, she gave me a call back. She said, Dawn, we can do everything for $2,900.
According to this receipt, dated February 2nd, Dawn paid Auto Legends $1,000 toward the replacement motor. Dawn says she gave the money to this woman, Debra Noonan, who's listed as the license holder on state records.
And then February 11th, she called and she said, well, Dawn, do you have any more money?
On February 20th, Dawn used Zelle to send Debra Noonan another $1,200 toward the motor.
So once I gave her the last payment, she said, okay, the motor's on its way.
For the next 3 weeks, Dawn and Debra exchanged texts about the progress of the engine replacement.
So next week or March 10th, she said, let's call it for March 10th. I will try to do it sooner.
Messages show Dawn checked in every few days.
She said, it's not quite complete yet. I will let you know when it is. And here we go, March 10th, afternoon. I said, still scheduled for today.
Dawn says that's when Auto Legends stopped responding. And she's not the only customer to accuse Noonan of not getting the repair they paid for. Investigative documents filed in Pasco County Court this week lay out the state's case against Auto Legends towing and repair owner Debra Noonan. State investigators charged Noonan in 2021 with fraud after an I-Team investigation revealed that another customer claimed he paid $1,150 for a catalytic converter that was never installed.
Come on up, Miss Noonan.
Noonan pled not guilty, and 3 years later, she's still awaiting trial. Dawn emailed me after finding our 2021 story online.
I just Googled her name and it popped straight up. I wish I would have done that, but people don't do that when you're stuck on the side of the road.
Dawn says she got an anonymous call in mid-March telling her to pick up her SUV outside the Auto Legends shop.
Like, the only thing that's here is the old motor.
State records show the Auto Legends license expired in February and the business closed. We found the gate locked when we stopped by in March. She does not have the engine that she paid for. I left a message for Noonan. Someone who said he worked with her responded in this text. It says the money Dawn paid was for towing and storage, and they never intended on putting a motor in. But the text exchange between Dawn and Noonan tell a different story.
A lot of the complaints that we get are quality of service complaints.
Rick Kimsey is with Florida's Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, which regulates auto repair businesses. The agency mediates for consumers and in some cases investigates mechanics. Well, what would make up a fraud case for your department?
Fraud cases come in many shapes. A lot of the ones that we've seen recently are parts that are not replaced on a vehicle.
Dawn filed a complaint with the state. The Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services told me in this email they're investigating her case. Meanwhile, she's stuck sharing a car with her teenage daughter.
Very, very upsetting to me, my children.
State law requires mechanics provide a written estimate when the repairs top $100, and they cannot hit you with a final bill that's more than $50 over the estimate without your consent. We have information on your rights and where to turn for help at abcactionnews.com. With photojournalist Randy Wright, I'm Jackie Calloway, taking action for you.